What's up, everyone? Welcome back to A Line of the Stars. I'm Jordan, and we're back today with another episode of the DeAgostini Millennium Falcon from Fanhome, and one that is a very, very important episode. For as simple as this one is going to be, we're just going to be assembling some frame sections and really kind of completing like the lower third of the Falcon itself. But it's an important one because with what I did in the previous episode, plus stage 24 here, we have officially crossed the 25% of the build mark. And I actually think that's really, really cool. You know, what's funny is I've only been building this for a few months. This model seems to finish up in about, I believe it's 100 stages, actually. And so it winds up being a little bit quicker of a model. And this one has just been, well, I would say interesting in the beginning. And has evolved into something that has been just really enjoyable to build. We've been doing a lot of work lately on the internal portion of the ship, and I feel it's an important thing. I kept like glossing over this stage going, you know, I'm not worried about it too much right now. You know, we need to go ahead and like move on and do some internal work and get some painting done and all that. But you know, if I let these pile up too much, I'm going to wind up with more boxes of this model than I have any right to do. I think right now this is currently storing up in a couple of different, I think like 4 different boxes right now. So I need to get some parts separated, get them put together. And what better way of just kind of celebrating Star Wars Week this week with kind of celebrating a milestone with the Millennium Falcon. Now, the cool thing is, normally I would just, I'm going to stop unpackaging some of these things on you know, the episodes themselves because, you know, I just get to the meat of the episode. But this one is kind of cool. Stage 24, and it seems like a lot of people that have recently gotten the Millennium Falcon and have gotten to stage 24, it actually comes from Planeta, which is the Brazilian arm of DeAgostini. And yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's for whatever reason, it seems like these were the ones that were available for the model. And so, yeah, let's go ahead and get this one opened up here. And then basically what we're going to be doing today is very simply attaching these 8 frame pieces to the main frame piece. And then we're going to just go ahead and quickly test fit a hull piece and give a look to see what it looks like. So we have our 2 frame pieces with all the relevant hardware. And then some screws and some connecting clips. Now, one of the things that I've run into is I swear, there's some more screws here. Okay, first up, before I move on, what is this? Oh, it's just what you would see. I don't know. It just. Oh, this is from the 2017 edition. Very interesting. Cool. It's just all the different licenses and what have you. Kind of interesting. Yeah, and just a whole frame. But they're calling for 9 of these 2 frame connectors, and for the life of me, with these 2, I've only got 8. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. I may look ahead. I think there's a couple of stages ahead where there's some of these, but I'm going to go ahead and reach out to Fanhome and see if they can just send me a small pack of these connectors here, because, yeah, it's very interesting. Or I just may borrow from the future and just pray that I have enough later on, because they do sometimes give you extras. But, yeah, these 2 hole connectors, or whatever reason, I don't have enough. So, all right. I'm going to go ahead and pull off this whole section here real fast. Get my package tossed. Let's go ahead and get our frame sections out. I don't need to be too afraid with these frame sections. For whatever reason, stage 4, the one that broke on me at the very beginning of this build series, it was a poor design, poor, I don't know, something. So this is, we're looking for 29 and 28. So 28 is going to go right here. We have our rib connector, which is a gross thing to say. One of our other connectors there. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring back the connector from the previous package, package number 23. And then I have my 2-hole connectors, 36 of the small button black screws, and then I have 4 of the 4-hole connectors. So now what we're going to be doing is kind of moving everything out of the way to make way, oh God, to make way for the frame that we haven't seen in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and clean up my space, and I will be right back. Alright, so there is what we have completed so far, and, you know, the more I think about it, I'm just like, where am I going to put this stupid thing here in a minute? I need to pick up a table, and I need to talk to my girlfriend. I think I need some space out in the living area, because I need a big enough table to be able to store this thing in. It's going to be 24 by 36, basically, as a built model. And it is going to be just absolutely gigantic as I'm assembling it. So I need to figure this out. But as I pontificate, let's go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and flip it over. And as a reminder, I've just gently taped using some of my Tamiya masking tape. Just taped my whole panels into place. I just kind of got annoyed with them like falling out, and they want us to test them, and I don't want to screw them into place because it's just, I taped them into place. It works. Alright, so I'm going to look back at my instructions, and we're looking for BF18, which is going to be right here. Yep. Just want to make sure that I got everything correct. That is BF18, yes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the screw here. Right, like that. Get the 2-hole connectors in place. Oh, there we are. Now, while pushing down, well, I already have them attached on one side. Grab one of my screws. There we go. It's been a minute since I built a frame for the Falcon. To kind of like remember how you do this. And as it's gotten bigger, man, it's like, it's getting more difficult to manage for sure. All right. So now we're going to grab 23, and we are going to slightly turn, and it is going to attach up like this, I believe. So, same process, but instead of doing that with a 2, we're going to go with a 4 up at the top. There we are, and then we're going to grab a 2. I'm just getting it into the connector itself. Getting my screwdriver put in place. And then failing. My goodness. Alright, so now what we're going to do, make sure everything's all lined up properly. We're going to screw these 2 pieces in place. Make sure this connector is lined up properly. The proper angle. There we are. I'm going to start at the back. Apparently grab 2 screws. There we are. Grab the other screw that I grabbed because I knew. Get that one in. Very good. So now we're going to grab BF26, which is this weird looking one. Sorry, Steve. Now we are going to, how does this one attach? Very interesting. Oh, I see. So it's going to attach up here, and here, and here. Okay. So now, let's go ahead and grab one of our 2-hole connectors. I had to sit there and read the instructions for half a second, just to make sure I understood what it wanted me to do. I don't want to assume, but you can infer. There we go. Get a 2-hole connector there. And then, what we're going to do more screws. Just one's fine. Yeah. Alright. That one's in. I'm gonna grab two screws here. Okay. So that's in. Beautiful. Okay, so next up, we're gonna go ahead and put a 4-hole connector, a 4-hole connector, and a 2-hole connector right here. All right, so next up, we're going to take BF24, and we're going to attach it up just like this on the other side. So simply, I'm going to use, I don't want to use Steve, but Steve might be a good prop. Steve, what do you think? Yeah, Steve works. Just kind of want to prop that up a little bit so I can see the holes. Am I right? Oh, God. There we are. Wow, this is like a lot of stuff just coming together all at once. It's pretty cool. Excellent. Okay. Here's 27, and we are going to... Am I looking at that right? I am. We are going to connect it in just like this. Sometimes I wish the screws would just go right into where they're supposed to go, but you know, hey. Bring this a little bit closer to me so I can see what I'm doing real quick. There we are. When installing BF27, make sure you're pushing up on the back up here. Yeah, this whole panel wants to come out, so I'm going to let it. Don't want to fight it. Perfect. Yeah, so make sure you're pushing up on the back because it's not going to want to cinch in properly. There you are. Okay, so now we need to find BF26. Which is going to be this one right here. And we're going to need to put a 2-hole connector right there. Yeah, this thing's starting to get a little ungainly. And they even say that in this issue. They're like, yeah, the frame is starting to get a little out of control. That's why in the coming frame sections, when we were building that, you'll be able to see where we are, how we're going to be assembling the base, because we're not going to be able to go any further without building that base. Then we're going to grab another 2-hole connector. And I may need to go fishing here in a second. We'll see. I think I'm going to reach out to Fanhome and say, hey, I need one of those packs with just something with screws and a 2-hole connector, please. Just one. I went looking. I couldn't believe that I couldn't find it. And there we are. It's sitting in there correctly. Yeah? No, it wasn't. It wasn't sitting in there straight and flat. So now we're going to grab 28, which I believe is going to be this one here, and we are going to fit this one where, oh, that's 29. Here's 28. I was like, wait, that's a funny looking piece that goes right there. That's because it is a funny looking piece. Actually, I did get this screw hole connector right there. Huh. Well, I had it like the first time. You know what I'm going to do? Connect it right here where I can easily connect it. I say. There we are. Nope. No brass screws. I'll be using the brass screws for the rib connectors. God, that's such a gross phrase. There we are. That's what DeAgostini calls them. So, I'm just saying what they're telling me. There we are. Very good. Okay, so now we're going to grab a 4-hole connector, and we're going to put it right here. And we're going to attach that with 3 screws right now. There we are. And then we're going to grab our remaining 2-hole connector. Goodness me, I hope this is enough. They say 9, this was 8, so we'll see. I think there are, like I said, I think there are some in other parts, but usually they're asking for like 1 more than you actually need. Just as a backup. I don't know why I don't have it. Got 1,000 different little parts of everything else. Alright. Then we're going to take 25. Oh, how interesting. Oh, because it's got to match up. Oh, this is one of the ramp areas. Got it. Very cool. So we're going to put 25 right there. Grab a screwdriver. Or screwdriver. Oh my god, grab a screw with my screwdriver. It's early in the morning. I don't know what to tell you guys. I record at weird points. Whenever I find time these days. Alright, so I need to grab one of the radial ribs and connect them up. Basically what you do is you take this connector here, put this over the top, put this in here, and then we run some screws through. I'm going to take care of that real fast, and I will be right back. Alright, we have our radial rib assembled. God, I hate that phrase. So how we assemble this is you take this and you run it down. What is it? There we are. Just like that. And we're going to attach one of these up. We're going to attach this up with one of our button screws on each one of the connectors. Yeah, I think we're going to be fine without the other 2-hole connector. I think they were just asking for a spare. Good. As we're getting towards the end here. Then we're going to be taking our last piece here, which is going to be 29, and we're going to be slotting it in just like so. Then we are going to go ahead and connect it up in 2 spots right here with 2 screws. There we go. Nice and tightened down. And that, my friends, looks like... that is half. That's not a third. That's half. Wow. That is half the frame. Complete. My goodness, this thing is going to be large. So I believe this is the rear of the ship. This is forward. Wow. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn this over. Let's go ahead and refit our hull plates back into place real fast. I'm just going to very gently do this. Alright, so this fits right over top right here. Just like that. And then this fits in right here. Now it's calling for us to put a couple Grablies on. I'm not going to worry about that right now. We will come back and take care of that in the next episode. I worry right now about the stability of this model, and I don't want to be sticking anything on here that has likelihood of falling off. But that's what that looks like from the bottom top. I don't know, bottom, but looking at it from the top, I don't know, I'm an idiot. So, there it is. We have reached the 25% mark in this model, and I gotta say, I am pretty excited about this. Let's go ahead and turn it over and actually look at the frame and what we've done here. And we basically build this entire section here. We've crossed the 25% mark, and we're about to put this onto a base, a plastic base that's going to support the structure as we go through, and we're going to start building our internal components up. I have looked ahead to a little of the future of this model, just to kind of get an idea of what I need to be planning for. And we're coming up on some really cool structural stuff in this model, and I'm super excited about that. So, the second major milestone, my friends, has been reached, and I am super glad that you're all here to share that with me on Star Wars Week. So that's what I got for you today, and I just want to say thank you. I know that there was a million things you all could have done today. Instead, you spent a couple minutes with me, watching me build a model, which I think is pretty damn cool. If you guys have any questions, comments, tips, tricks, please leave them down below. If you'd like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And my friends, until we see each other again, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world where you happen to be. And just remember that the Force is one with you, and that you are one with the Force.